All right, so in our last video, I'm going to talk about strength training for knee health, okay? And what we want to do after we've addressed kind of the symmetry of our pelvis, getting everything into a proper alignment, making sure that we've kind of cleaned up the imbalances around our knee to whatever degree possible, then now we're going to strengthen everything around the knee to get it as strong, to make it as strong and resilient as possible in its alignment, okay? And what I mean by that is, what you've probably done is you've torn a ligament, you have meniscus damage, you've been told by your doctor that you've had an x-ray and they've told you there's some kind of structural issue but what I want you to know is that we don't necessarily have to link that to pain. Just because your meniscus is torn doesn't mean you're going to be painful. You know, I mean, it's damage, but damage doesn't equate to pain. Those are two different things. So, and those are passive restraints, which means that those are things that passively kind of control the motion of your knee. They're damaged. There's nothing we can do about those. But what we can do is get the stuff around the kneecap as strong as possible to guide its motion to make sure it's healthy. So my first exercise, one of my favorites, is a split squat. Okay, so split squat looks like this. All right, I'm just going to come straight down and come up. Okay, a couple things here. All right, with this, especially when I'm dealing with knee pain, I want to try to keep my knee over my toe. Like in some cases, I don't care, but in this case, I do. So when you're setting up, okay, you can set up against a wall or you can put a stick against your foot here. Think about keeping your knee behind the stick. Okay, so we're not necessarily coming forward. We're just coming straight up and down. Okay, so that's thing one. Thing two is when we're doing this exercise, I want to make sure that my patella stays or the kneecap stays centered. Okay, so when I'm doing it, as I'm coming up and down here, I'm not collapsing in, I'm not collapsing out. Okay, so with this, I'm using a stick to help me just guide my motion up and down very slowly. And this is what I recommend in the beginning. The slower the better here, because we're just building stability here. Okay, once you get better at this, then we can take the stick away. You know, we can add speed to it. We can add weight to it. But for now, I would like to see you be able to do at least 3 sets of 12 body weight slow before you start to add weight or before you start to add speed. Okay, now my second favorite knee exercise is a single leg deadlift. All right, now a single leg deadlift, again, this is a single leg hinge. Okay, and all we're doing here is I'm just reaching. Okay, I'm bending my knee, I'm straightening my knee out. Okay, so whoa, whereas we use the anterior structures in the quads, kind of the muscles around the quads to stabilize. Now we're going to use the posterior structures again to kind of create motion and to reduce motion. And my first step is just to do kind of a reaching version of this. Once I get control, meaning I can do that for maybe 3 sets of 12, then I can add a little bit of weight. All right, I come down, I pause, I pop back up. I come down, I pause, I pop back up. And again, I'm focusing on just doing this slowly and controlled at first. Then as I get better, I can start to control the lower and come back up fast, all right? Again, you always want to lower slowly because that eccentric control is the thing that really trains our muscles to decelerate force. So when we hit the ground, our muscles know to like control it like a brake, okay, if that makes sense. Now our last exercise here is a single leg squat. All right, with a single leg squat, all I'm doing is I'm just standing up here on a slightly elevated platform. I'm just going to come down, tap my knee to the ground, and come back up. And you might say, like, this thing is only like, 10 inches off the ground, but that's fine because it's a place where I can control. So, and what you'll find is, in order to make it harder, I can make it higher. But what you'll find is that you'll get to a certain point where you start to lower, and then you just drop. Like you don't have good control of it anymore. So what I want you to do is use a stick for balance initially, be able to control and come back up. Remove the stick for a greater challenge. And then as you get stronger, you can increase the height of the box or the bench or whatever it is you choose to use. But those are the big three. And that would be in any program that I write for anybody, but especially for knee health. It's key. So give those a go. After you've addressed the stuff around your knee, please feel free to email me with any questions that you have, and I look forward to your success.